sportschatplace.com and pickdogs.com. It is Sunday, May 31st, the end of May, and boy, I really thought we'd be talking about starting sports by now, and I really thought that we'd be talking about sport, when it all stopped, and people were saying, oh, we're not going to see sports until July. I was like, oh, we're going to see it by June or whatever. We are starting to see it. I actually watched the NRL matchup last night. At least I made it through the first half. It's on way late at night for me, my time. Yeah, that what the NRL is, it is Aussie rugby. I watched it. I'll tell you what, man, those guys were killing each other out there. I have no idea what they were doing. I've watched rugby before, and I've been explained the rules before, and I definitely have understood it in the past, but I definitely had no clue what I was watching last night. But I'll tell you what, they were killing each other, and it was still pretty exciting to watch. If I knew the rules, I think I would really have enjoyed it. It's kind of like a football without the huddles, and without the passing as well. A little bit of kicking going on there as well. But speaking of kicking, I'm going to bring the Puck Dogs in. We're going to kind of just do a mishmash here. We're going to do just a quick UFC recap. We're going to bring Steve in and then talk some sports news. And then we're going to come back to the Puck Dogs, do their NASCAR picks, maybe a Bunddesligsa pick, and then have everybody back for that computer-simulated games played by computers and watched by people. You know what? Let's start with Steve instead. Then we'll go to the Puck Dogs. Steve, Elon Musk, hero or zero? What do you think of that, man? How crazy was that? I didn't have your sound up. Was that nuts or what?
Yeah.
I mean, how about the guys who got in the rocket ship, Like, how about the guys that got in? And I'm in. I'm going. And it's like, right. So I don't understand. So he's driving the rocket, or like the engineers are driving the rocket, like it's a Tesla, right? It's like Tesla.
Yeah, I mean, it's science fiction of the future. It's the Jetsons. It's everything.
In the word of Dickie Roberts' child star, knuckin' futz. I'm telling you, man. It is knuckin' futz.
That's right.
Oh my God, man. It's like we've been hearing about it for like a few years now, but then when you actually, and then it was like they canceled the launch the other day, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm out on the golf course at Kapalua, like overlooking Honolulu Bay and Lanai and Molokai and these panoramic monster views, and I can't take my eye off of my iPhone that this thing's actually going to happen. Then they use like a computer-generated woman voice for the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The part that everybody loves, right? It's like I don't know, man. If there's no sports, no nothing.
That'll fill a couple hours during the day watching that. Absolutely.
I still, it's a day later, and I've seen launches. We've seen the space shuttle. We've seen the Voyager land on Mars. We've seen men on the moon. We've seen the stopping of men on the moon. We've seen it, as far as space. I thought I had seen it all. Yeah. But that was something, this is a game changer, right? Because what happens now is, after the first one, right, and this is the same thing as the moon mission at the beginning, you start doing this stuff all the time. Like, all the time.
Going to be the LA freeway and traffic in about 20 years with
Tom Cruise is talking about
ships all over the place.
Tom Cruise is talking about doing a movie from the space station. I mean, this is crazy. The thing that we all have experienced some sort of isolation and quarantine over the past few months. It's like, wouldn't going to space kind of be like that? I mean, it seems like a very confined space. It's not like space, the eons and eons. It just seems like a very confined space.
Yeah, but it's definitely, game changer, no doubt. It's a different world, technology, and Elon Musk has been talking about this for years now, and like you said, it finally happened. They canceled the launch, but yesterday, liftoff.
They said if the launch didn't go yesterday, that it wasn't going to go. Right? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
Anyways, man, if they can
it's
do that,
tough.
maybe there is hope for Major League Baseball. You know, it's like I
Right.
think when you see something like that, you say, you know what, you know. So here's
Why can't we just agree on some numbers and start playing baseball for Christ's sakes? You know.
for today's idiot comment of the day. I went 3-0 yesterday in my MMA picks.
Ooh.
Woo! I picked the winner of the Super Bowl 24. It was awesome. It's like I do not care about what you picked yesterday. Have the
I had the
balls.
Chiefs in the Super Bowl this past Super Bowl.
I
You know.
loved the Patriots over the Falcons. Loved them.
Exactly.
I loved
Hey,
Rob.
he's excited. He went 3-0.
I love the prop bet of Rob Gronkowski catching a pass over 16 yards versus the Rams. You know, it's like
Love it.
love it. It's like, oh, he's saying that our guys did. All right, sorry. I'm dying for material here. It's cool.
Yeah, we are. We're dying over here.
Never mind. I still say the Patriots are going to take out the Falcons.
I mean, even, I made a joke to a friend of mine I was talking to an hour ago. I said, what time's the Yankee-Red Sox game today? 1 o'clock, or is it on ESPN tonight? It's a beautiful day, May 31st. Couldn't have a better day here in New Jersey to play baseball or something. And again, I have an athletic complex in my town where I grew up, and it's literally, I could walk there in 3 minutes. And it's been barren, and there's no kids out there, and it's just, God, it stinks.
Oh, man. Anyways, I don't think we have much to talk about in the world of sports. I don't see any movement in any way, shape, or form, and sometimes no news is good news, and we're just going to have to take it at that. But I just wanted to ask Steve about the Elon Musk thing. I know he's, I lived in Satellite Beach, Florida, and I used to see these rockets go up all the time, the space shuttles and everything. And I know that once one goes, they all go. I got this flashing light behind me, man. I'm not sure I like it. I'm going to have to wait till the puck dogs come on, and I'm going to take myself out, and I'm going to fix that. It's bugging the crap out of me. Anyways, Steve, we'll see you in a little bit for the simulated pick section. We're going to bring in...
You got it.
We're going to bring in Rod, Chris. Guys, Burns. What do you think of Burns?
Yeah, that was dominant. I mean, I think it's going to be a changing of the guard in that division. I think Tyron Woodley's going to have to start looking towards retirement in the near future. I think Burns is the new threat in that division. I think Kamaru Usman's got to start looking over his shoulder. That was, like I said, like Rod and I were talking last night. I said that was dominant.
Oh yeah, total dominance there. Oh, that's what most Woodley fights that he loses, the opponent pushes him and goes and just brings the fight to him and pushes, and that's all Burns did. And then Woodley just is like, oh, it's like deer in the headlights, and he gets slaughtered.
Well, he was flat-footed for a lot of that fight. He wasn't ready for the pressure that Burns was going to bring.
And the fight before, that's eight rounds in a row he's lost.
Yeah.
Over the last two fights. So
I mean, I said yesterday. I thought the year layoff was probably going to hurt him, and then you saw, the bets were pouring in on Woodley. I think got as high I saw as minus 195 up to minus 200, and it was just like I said, didn't understand it. It was like Burns has been tearing people up in the welterweight division, and now it's on to the next one. I don't know if he called anyone out after the fight last night, but.
Yeah, he wants to fight somebody big.
Yeah,
he ready for a title shot here.
But I mean, I think a lot of the fights last night. Look, 6 of the 11 fights last night finished inside the distance. I think that's a product of the smaller cage going down to 25 feet, and I mean, even the fights that went to a decision, those were exciting fights as well. I mean, I don't know about you. I think they. Probably better served at least using the smaller cage a little bit more often.
Well, yeah, because they don't dance around the ring as much.
Exactly.
I didn't find them. them doing the usual.
Well, now that I'm
Look, we're just squirming around here on the mat.
now that I'm fully blinded by my light over here. So how about Dern?
I mean, she caught Hannah Cyphers in that knee bar right in the first round. I still think she has a little bit of work to do. She did look a little bit sloppy with her striking early on.
Well, this is her first fight since becoming a mother, right?
I think it was her second fight.
No, they said it was her first. So were they wrong on that?
I thought she had a decision before then, but
it's not what they said on TV.
But yeah, she still looked good with her submission game. She caught Cyphers in the knee bar, and I said she'll probably have to get her striking up for the next fight. But
how about Cyphers? Do you think that she maybe did herself proud and kind of maybe? I mean, she was crying after the match because she realized she made one mistake, and that's really all it took. She was winning the match up until that point. Yeah, we were in the first round, But she was landing blows. She was kneeing her in the face, which is a great move. I'm a hammer fist guy. We all know that. Yeah. But I think the knee to the face is also a very effective move there in MMA. I kind of am becoming. I'm not saying I'm ever going to not be a hammer fist guy, but I think I could be a little swayed. It could become maybe not a 1A, but kind of like my second favorite move is,
knee to the face.
Knee to the
face. Simple knee to face.
How about Spike Carlisle?
But he got knocked out. Knee to face.
How about Spike Carlisle? Came out, tried to be almost like a Conor McGregor style, where he's just this whirling dervish, right? There's no other way to really describe it, but the whirling dervish, Tasmanian devil type thing, right? Where he just comes out and he's just 100% full tilt. Yeah, and if they would have scored the fight of the first 3 minutes of the first round, he was the winner, right? But this is one that came down to the judges, and the guys calling the fight on TV had it dead wrong, right? They had it dead wrong. They had him winning. They had Carlisle winning. But
maybe the first round.
No, they had him winning on ESPN. They had him winning. They all called him as the winner. All the announcers did. And the other guy didn't have a mark on his face. Not a mark on him. Quintillo?
Yeah.
Not a mark on him. I mean,
he survived the barrage of the first round, and that's what you do with this guy.
What do you think the fair skin? So you think the fair skin works against you?
I don't know. I think part of it is if he dominated on the mat, or if he had ground control, maybe that's where they gave him the points. But again, it was that decision I didn't really understand. The other one was the Sakai and Ivanov fight.
Where he grabbed the fence?
Where he grabbed the fence, but also how one judge had it 30-27 for the guy that lost the fight.
Well, that's a Vegas decision. It was in Vegas, right?
Yeah, I know it was. We were talking about it last night.
That's a Vegas scorecard all the way. I thought that fight was a draw. I thought that fight was super.
It should have been a draw, yeah.
I thought it was super.
Because he should have lost a point for grabbing the fence. You grab the fence, and you lose a point. It's a draw.
I mean, I'm not an MMA guy, so I can't really make the argument. Like boxing, I can make the argument, right? but MMA. I can't make the argument because I just don't know enough about the sport. And then Weaver and Roberts. I don't know. I think Weaver looked like, I think when Rod yesterday said this is not a good card, and I think you see a guy like Weaver, I think that he isn't ready for that type of fight, right? He's a guy that I think has some potential. He's kind of like a Carlisle, but he's kind of like, he's even more raw than that, right? So it's like he needs to develop more skills if he wants to make this his profession. He's a good puncher. He's a gamer, spunky. He's entertaining somewhat, but the other guy, it was all business. And what you see here is that you can't be one-dimensional, in this sport. It's like, even if you're somewhat one-dimensional like Dern is, if you got to get, you at least have to be concentrating on getting him to your one dimension. If you're a striker like he is, then you go down, it just looks like you're getting choked all night, and punched in the face. And that's pretty much what that one looked like, even though the other guy looked like he was maybe 16 and a half pounds. I don't know. It's amazing that they were in the same weight class. The one guy was like, we were pretty sturdy looking, and the other guy, Roberts, was like a beanpole, right? It's interesting. Wrapped him up like a book. I don't know. You see it, I actually did watch the fights, and, this is probably more MMA consecutively over a short period of time than I've ever watched. So, I think if it still comes down to watching LSU versus Alabama versus the UFC, it's LSU Alabama for me. But I could see myself watching MMA. Am I at the point where I'm ready to spend $79 a throw on this? I don't think so. I'm not. Speaking of 79 cents a throw, NASCAR coming out like fire. These guys, this is kind of like, it's the one thing I always like about MMA. When you go to see boxing, there's always a little bit of time in between the fights, and especially between the undercard and the main event, depending on how quickly the undercard goes. This is why in boxing, the undercard in boxing, sometimes you see these guys that they know are going to have long, boring fights, tactical fighters, like, guys that stay on the outside and jab, is because they're trying to extend it out. Because, the Pacquiao De La Hoya undercard, Victor Ortiz knocked out his guy in 6 seconds, so basically you're sitting around for over an hour, or more than that. But MMA, it's just they wheel them out one after another, after another, after another, after another. There's as much time between the main event as there is between the first and second fights. I like that. NASCAR. Jeff Jeter, our NASCAR guy at Pick Dogs, he lives 15 minutes from the track today and can't go to the race. I'm sure he'll have.
You can the pets.
I think the Puck Dogs and Jeter should do a virtual rib fest while watching the race. I think that would be a good time. Bristol Motor Speedway. I love Bristol, right? Yeah. These are the best races are at Bristol, right? Because
Bristol,
it's a smaller track, right? So there's a lot of bumping and trading paint and always bad feelings, which makes for good sport. Mm-hmm. What do you like today at Bristol? These are the scrappy guys. Generally do well at Bristol. I didn't read Jeff's article yet, but I'm going to guess he picked the scrappy guys because these are the guys that get it done at Bristol.
So for me today, I'm keying in on two guys I really like. I really like Logano here. His last race at Bristol, he led 147 laps, and he's one of those guys that you just said, he's a feisty guy. Logano is definitely a feisty guy. He loves this track. I'm taking Logano in the top 5 at plus 110, Logano in the top 3 at plus 240, and Logano to win the race at plus 800. I'm also going to go with Hamlin. Give me Hamlin top 5, top 3, and to win the race. And, of course, the biggest, scrappiest guy out there who loves this and he owns this track. You gotta put Kurt Busch in there. Or I'm going to put Kurt Busch in the top 5, and I'm going to put his brother top 3 and to win the race. Kyle Busch.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to put a little bit on a couple long shots, but my main bet today is probably going to be Kyle Busch to win at plus 450. And Kyle Busch in the top 3 at plus 135. My two dogs, I'm going to go Clint Boyer, top 5 at plus 340, and to win the race at plus 2,500. Got 4 straight top 10 finishes at the racetrack, and it's the racetrack where he usually fixes his issues. And the longest dog I'm going to take a shot with Matt Kenseth to win at plus 3,500. Top 5 at plus 480. He's won 4 times at this racetrack, 15 top 5 finishes.
I like that one.
It's worth a look.
I like that one. I just think that, like I said, at the beginning, it's like I'm not a NASCAR aficionado at all, but I know at Bristol. It's a small track, so it's a crowded space, and it's like it is a different. There's a big difference between the super speedways, Talladega, Daytona, Charlotte. It's like way big, it's a different animal than this. This is like this is real NASCAR racing.
This is NASCAR.
They still do the restrictor plates at the super speedways. Restrictor plate racing. Jeff Jeter. They still do restrictor plate.
Oh yeah, I think it's all restrictor plate now. Isn't it?
All restrictor plate? No, not at the short tracks. It used to only be at the super speedways.
Well, that's
Tells you how in touch I am with my NASCAR audience. Bundesliga, Bayern Munich 5-0 yesterday. We knew it was a whitewash. They were minus 7 million on the odds, and they didn't disappoint. Someone in our audience said take them -2, and they were only minus 110 at that price. Easy winner. So even if we're not giving it out, at least our audience well educated. I always think that we have there's no restrictor plates. They have limited horsepower instead at the super speedways. See, that's the thing about NASCAR is that they know, like at the super speedways, because it's a safety issue. You know, they could have Elon Musk build the car, it'd be a rocket ship, you know, for the super speedways. But for the short tracks, it's like there's only so fast, you know, you can go. It's like there's not, you know, these guys they're not in the business of killing themselves. You know, it's like Kel Yarbrough might have been, but none of these guys are. You know. Anyways. So Bundesliga, one more game left today. Who do we like?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Dortmund to win via shutout against Paderborn.
You just like saying Dortmund because it gives you a reason, an excuse to spit in the mic a couple times. Anyways, Rod, who do you like in this one?
Dortmund leading after the first half. That's the only thing I like in this one.
It's like
there's one for tomorrow.
What time is that game at?
2:30.
2:30
Eastern.
Oh,
PM.
So we'll cover it tomorrow. Oh, what? Tomorrow's my show, so you guys won't be with me. All right, yeah, let's cover tomorrow. Who do you like?
I like Red Bull Leipzig over Cologne. And Cologne's just fallen out of the race for the Europa League. Leipzig's in the top 4 race right now. Both teams can score, so I'm going to take Leipzig to win and both teams to score at plus 185.
God, I can't. And not only do I not like the sim picks, I'm kind of getting sick of soccer too. It's like Chris is talking about like Cologne versus Leipzig, and I'm just thinking to myself, God, it's got to get better than this. It's got to get better than this.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's like, I mean, what I wouldn't do for one of Rod's soap opera descriptions of how the Tampa Bay Lightning end up in 3rd place in the conference. You know, they don't want to. It's like it's kind of right. He does it like a soap opera description. It's like, you know, I mean, how about James Harden and the Rockets? You know, Russell Westbrook just busting up our parlays. You know, it's like, come on. I would gladly take that over discussing the Leipzig match.
Well, I'll take Leipzig money line first half. Even money. It's the best value on the board. Leipzig to be leading after the first half money line. Plus 100.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
I'm going to parlay the 2 games today and tomorrow. I'm going to take Dortmund to win via shutout and then Leipzig to win with both teams to score. Plus 614.
Tampa Bay Lightning can suck it, by the way.
Yes, they can.
They can suck it. Rob Brindamore, you too. Anyways, let's bring in Steve Monahan and talk about everybody's favorite subject. I'm in the bottom. I don't like this. I don't like this lineup. There we go. Anyways,
I was just reading a little thing on ESPN. A little
blurb?
Interesting note I forgot about.
A blurb?
1983, Tippy Martinez picked off 3 base runners in the same inning, which is, I believe, a I don't know if anybody else has done it, but it was voted one of the greatest feats in Orioles history. That's what I was doing for the last 5 minutes.
Screw the World Series wins and Jim Palmer's 3 Cy Young awards. You know?
Exactly. Right?
Tippy,
Brooks Robinson or anything.
it's like, yeah. Eddie Murray's home run over my head in the bleachers at Fenway Park. Bruce Hurst served it up. Tape measure. It was the shot. That was one of the long. It was like a Kingman type shot. What do we got today? What happened yesterday on the simulated gridiron?
So the Lions beat the Texans outright, 39-36. The Steelers covered against the Giants, 39-17. The Rams won outright against Dallas, 33-19. And the Packers beat the Ravens, 41-27.
2-2 for me. I had the Steelers and the Rams.
2-2 for me too.
Yeah, I think everyone was pretty much 2-2.
I think we're all 2-2. Yeah.
I think so, but I think we all had different picks, but we all had different ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today, 12 Eastern, Vikings minus 13 against the Jaguars.
Give me the Jags plus 13.
I'll take the Vikings.
I'll go Jags.
I'll take the Vikings. I'm going to guess Dalvin Cook, but Calais Campbell's probably pretty good at this game too. I'll take the Vikings.
3 Patriots minus 11.5 against the Broncos.
Pats.
Patriots. 7 Eastern, Seahawks minus 3.5 against the Panthers.
Panthers money line.
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
I'll go Panthers with Rob.
And 10 Eastern, Pro Bowl, NFC minus 3 against the AFC.
I refuse to bet on the Pro Bowl. I don't care. I refuse to acknowledge its existence. Where is it being played? It's not in Honolulu anymore, right?
Doesn't even say where it's being played. I don't even know.
Exactly. No, because no one cares. No
Yeah,
one
it actually may be better than the real Pro Bowl, actually.
Yeah, it might be. You give me the AFC here. I'll take the dog here. In this.
I choose
I'm
not
an
to run.
NFC guy. I'll go with NFC.
I'll choose not to run.
That's it.
I'll take the NFC.
Tomorrow's out if you want to do those and get rid of those.
What do we got?
That tomorrow's 4.
All right, we got those.
They're out already.
NHL?
No NHL as of yet. I got this one NBA that I think is just so whacked off the board. I got to take it. So.
All right, let's see it.
There's an NBA sim pick. It's the Miami Heat at the Atlanta Hawks. And I don't know how this sim pick has Atlanta favored minus 10.5. This makes absolutely no sense to me. Give me the Miami Heat plus 10.5.
Yeah, I'll take that one too. I'm with you. All right.
Just that line makes no sense to me. How can you favor Atlanta? Even in a sim game, Atlanta minus 10.5 over Miami? No.
Let's go with Monday Sims games.
All right. 12 Bills minus 2.5 against the Broncos.
Bills.
Broncos.
Figures.
Go 3. Eagles minus 4.5 against the Bucks.
I'll take the Bucks money line at home.
I'll go Bucks.
Eagles.
Chargers and Steelers in a pick 'em.
Steelers.
Chargers.
We'll go Chargers. And the last one, Saints minus 3 against the Ravens.
The Ravens let me down yesterday.
We'll go with the Saints.
Yeah, I like the
Saints.
With the Ravens. Ravens to bounce back.
I mean, the Saints are a sim Super Bowl quality team, right? They made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Same team.
Felt just short.
Exact same roster.
Yeah.
They don't have like the simulated general manager and the simulated holdout, huh? That'll be next.
No.
They'll have like the
There's no
simulated guy.
simulated John Lynch for you, Mitch?
It'll be
Type.
be like the simulated It'll be like this, the simulated, whatever. It's like, I want more money than any other money out there. I want the most money. It's like,
Show me the money.
I'm like, oh man. All right. Well, hopefully we have some good news on the way. Looks like Thursday the NBA will have a plan in place. These guys seem to have it together. A lot of smart owners in the NBA too.
That's
Seems
true.
like it's like the NBA has more newer money, so it's not guys that were like left the team or left the money and stuff like that. It seems that there's less of that in the NBA than there is in some of the other sports. So these guys are smart businessmen. They're not businessmen that were, born on third base and think they hit a triple. These are these are a lot of guys that are just sharp guys, and also from a different mold. I think they get it there. I mean, it goes all the way. Mark Cuban, Steve Ballmer. These are Tillman Fertitta. These are smart guys that are self-made guys. I mean, a lot of respect. It's not like the NFL where the team's like left generation to generation. Though, and the NFL has those guys too, but not as much. Anyone else have anything they have to say before Tuesday?
No, let's hope baseball moves further along in the negotiations by Tuesday when we're back on the show with you. So we shall see.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. It's been another exciting day here. Simulated picks, NASCAR, UFC recap, and Bunddesligsa. Oh my God, man! We would be in the NBA playoffs right now, right? I mean, we would be almost at the championship. I remember
hockey playoffs would be smack dab in the middle of like the last round, or very close to giving up the cup.
Baseball
NBA
season
would be in like round 3. Baseball would be right heating up.
Oh yeah, baseball would be like David Price.
CFL would be back playing. We'd have football
David
there.
Price would be
We'd have
9 days into his
WNBA.
first stint on the 15-day DL. It's like
Yeah.
It's like
Not grinding out Bunddesligsa.
extended out to the next DL 30 days. All right, I'm gonna play some golf. I played Kapalua yesterday. Kapalua 1, Mitch 0. I got smoked at Kapalua yesterday. I had some really good shots, but I gotta say, man, it was just a really, really tough golf course. It's just so hard, man. It's like there's no breaks there. Like you hit a bad shot, you pay dearly. You pay dearly. All right. I'll see everyone tomorrow for Monday with Mitch. Hopefully I have something to talk about. If not, it's going to be a very quick show. And I'll see you then. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Thanks, everyone who's been
Have a good day, everybody.
visiting the sites and
Bye.
supporting us. Have a great day.